Hello, I'm Mark Blunden and this is the Standards Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, at last, Britain's future flying taxis. But first, ChatGPT has been installed inside a humanoid robot to offer a glimpse of humanity's future, living alongside the machines.
Hey, Figure One, what do you see right now?
It can perform basic autonomous tasks and carry out real-time conversations with humans via the OpenAI software.
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
So far, the Terminator-style droid has already been programmed with mundane tasks, including putting away crockery and serving food, albeit with a short delay from the human command. Bezos-backed Figure AI plans for its first artificial intelligence-powered humanoid robot to be deployed for jobs too dangerous for humans, as the company describes it, to push the boundaries of robot learning. Next, researchers at Nottingham Trent University report they've created realistic-looking models of diseased hearts and lungs which beat, bleed and breathe like the real thing in order to help trained surgeons to perform for transplant operations. The team scanned the 3D-printed fake organs from real hearts and built them with silicone gels, fabrics and different fibres.
We use CT data from real patients and 3D print the components we need, and then change those rigid 3D prints into something which is soft and feels just like the real heart, looks like the real heart, and performs like the real heart when they're making incisions in surgery.
That's Senior Research Fellow Dr. Richard Arm.
Psychologically, emotionally, and visually, everything is as it would be in real surgery. Overarching research goal is to improve patient outcomes for heart transplant patients.
The idea is for doctors to be able to perform mock surgery before removing the diseased organ and suturing a new heart into place. Now, a volcano in Iceland that erupted on Saturday for the fourth time since December is still firing smoke and bright orange lava into the air. The eruption was the seventh near the capital Reykjavik since 2021, when geological systems lay dormant for around 800 years, once again became active. Artificial barriers have so far been successful in steering the lava away from infrastructure, including the Svartsengi geothermal power plant and Grindavik, a fishing town of some 4,000 residents. Magma has been accumulating underground since the previous eruption last month. Now, the first piloted flying taxi could take to the UK skies in 2 years. Under government plans to schedule regular drone deliveries by 2027, the Department for Transport has released its Future of Flight Action Plan, which also proposes flying taxis without pilots on board by 2030. It also forecasts regular use of police drones and critical 999 care deliveries by the end of the decade. Next, diners with deep pockets will soon be offered the chance to eat on the edge of space, 10,000 feet up into the sky, at a reported cost of nearly £400,000 per person. 2 Michelin star chef Rasmus Monk says next year 6 tourists will get the chance to float up in a balloon to eat, as he describes it, dishes inspired by the roles of space exploration. The hardware for this venture, called Space VIP, will be provided by the company Space Perspective, and is a pressurized capsule hung below a huge hydrogen balloon. But despite the sky-high price tag for just 6 hours and all the risks of space weather from going so high up, diners will not even enter microgravity to experience weightlessness. Let's go to the ads. Stay there for more news from the world of tech and science, plus the record-breaking Blueberry. Why not hit follow in the meantime and give us a rating. Welcome back. Oxford University research suggests that a new cheap and simple blood test could help identify people who are at highest risk of dying from heart failure. The study found patients with the highest levels of a protein called neuropeptide Y were 50% more likely to die from a heart complication over the 3 years that the research was conducted, compared to those with lower levels. And scientists hope that a blood test could be used to help guide treatment for heart failure patients within 5 years. More than 1 million people are currently estimated to be living with heart failure in the UK, with around 200,000 new diagnoses each year. Next, a government minister has revealed the Ministry of Defence has led its first cross-government climate security wargame. The Earl of Minto told the Lords the exercise and future events would inform operational planning and provide an understanding of how the changing environment, such as rising temperatures, would impact military capabilities. And finally, an Australian farm has grown the world's biggest blueberry, which weighs 10 times as much as the tiny fruits would in the wild. This beast of the Eterna variety is about as big as a table tennis ball, and its hefty size has been credited to a very favourable growing climate in Australia's New South Wales. Now, the mega fruits made it as a Guinness World Record, but growers say they've actually picked several other specimens that could also be considered contenders. So what does it taste like? The big berry's actually off the menu, as it's been frozen since the discovery in November. You're up to date. Come back at 4 p.m. for the latest news, interviews and analysis from the Standard podcast here in London, and we'll be back on Tuesday at 1 p.m.